you give up 79 points. And the reasoning behind it, I got to look at the film to see it, but we just didn't have the same energy that we had in the first and fourth. You look at the numbers, in the first and fourth, they have 44 points. And so, whether it's schematics or just outright grit and toughness during those moments to just get a stop, we couldn't get any consecutive stops in the second and the third. And that, ended up being the not the difference, but it just put us in a hole. And I felt like we were playing from behind for a long, long time.
Just a quick follow. You guys pride yourself on imposing your will and making teams uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I just thought there was a stretch like you're talking about where they were just going through the motions and getting any shot they wanted.
It looked like it. And I don't think it's for lack of effort. I just think in those moments, understanding what kind of effort we need right now, especially after the start. We expended a lot of energy in the first. We scored 37 points. We're probably going to need more in the second. And defensively, it just wasn't there in the second quarter.
Dave in the center.
Monty, after game 4, you spoke about turnovers and offensive rebounds. And for 3 quarters, you largely corrected that. I think you had less turnovers than they did and same offensive rebounds. They get 5 offensive rebounds in the fourth, and the 3 turnovers no bigger than the Drew steal. Just to see that pop up, what do you think?
Well, I just think the turnovers and the offensive rebounding, we corrected that, but they shot 50% from 3. That was something that kind of gave them the edge. So they didn't get those points off of turnovers and offensive rebounding, but they got it from the 3-point line. We shot 61. We just didn't generate enough. The ball, when it moved tonight, it looked like Suns basketball. But we just didn't generate enough threes. So to your point, like we did what we were supposed to as far as the offensive rebounding and turnovers, but we gave up too many threes tonight.
And just a quick follow on the steal by Drew on Booker. Just a strong defensive play, or
it's a great play by Drew. I don't have any other words for that one. I just watched it and it just makes a great play.
Hey, Monty, you kind of were talking about when the ball moved and stuff like that. I know Devin had a great game, obviously, but it seemed like there was a lot of possessions where it was just like, give the ball to him and he does something.
Yeah, we gotta move it around. We know what Book can do with the ball, but the one thing we talked about was getting to the paint, finding guys on the backside, and we feel like that's a formula. There were some times tonight where it just stuck a little bit, and against their defense, they don't have to work against that. So we can score an ISO ball, but to make that defense work, we got to move it around. And in order to beat this team, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And Monty, we've talked all playoffs just about the new experiences, the guys going through stuff for the first time. This is now going to be another one with you guys haven't faced elimination at all. Just Chris was up here saying it doesn't get any harder than this to use, one of your terms, but just what do you want to see out of the guys the next 2 days to make sure that you're still in a good headspace, to go into game 6?
Well, headspace, mental stamina, all that stuff, like, it boils down to getting it done. We got to win one game to put them back on the plane. That's it, and you have to have that determination that you're willing to do whatever it takes to put them back on the plane. And so we can call it what we want to, mental toughness, all of that stuff, but it's going to be needed, and our guys are capable of doing it. This is our first time in this position, and we can do it.
Anything on this side?
Drew's defensive imprints have obviously been all over the series, but he'd been kind of quiet offensively until tonight, and he got going really in that second quarter. Was it just him getting going, or did you feel like you had breakdowns?
Probably a bit of both. Getting over the screens or being up on the screens, whatever the case may be. He was knocking down shots, so we have to make those adjustments, and that's on me. We have to understand who the hot guy is and then make the adjustment in game. And I just didn't do a good enough job helping our guys tonight.
Kellen, over here in the corner.
Hey, Monty, with Chris, it felt like he was able to do paint to grade a lot more tonight. How did you like his bounce off the dribble and just the ability to get the offense training a bit?
He was getting to the paint, and DA early was going with him, and so that put a lot of pressure on their rim protection. The pressure against Chris, it slowed us up a little bit. In the first quarter, it didn't, and we scored 37 points. And so that's a formula for us. Just get to the paint, shoot it, or find guys.
Is that a formula you can go over in the film?
We have to.
Game 6?
Yeah, for sure. Our guys know, everybody in our locker room talked about it. We got to get the ball moving and make their defense work.
Chris Haynes?
Coach, you talk about the ball moving. Is that the common theme that you seen over these last 3 losses, or is there something else beyond that?
We've had ball movement in games. There have been games where we haven't made shots. Tonight, we were making shots whenever we 1 or 2 passes from side to side where the ball moved. There just wasn't enough of that tonight. And so that's something that we can correct.
Palmer, to you on Zoom.
Go to Kent Somers with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Monty, obviously you've got to give Devin a rest at some point, but looking at it, do you regret keeping him out for 6 minutes in that second quarter when they really make the run?
It's hard for me to hear that one.
Yeah.
Devin out for 6 minutes in the second quarter.
I don't think our team defense wasn't up to par during that time. I'm not quite sure if that would have helped with. We had to get stops in that moment. They scored 43 points. We still only scored 24 to combat that. So, you can if all day long, but I don't think that was it. I think our team defense was just at a low level at that point.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.